Welcome to the Scientist with Heart Podcast, my open diary of academic life. This is a space where I share my personal thoughts and reflections on research, teaching, and university life. These are my own opinions, and the aim is to spark discussion, exchange perspectives, and gather insights from others navigating the academic roller coaster at the bench and in the lecture hall. If someone asked me what it is like to work with a contract that ends after a certain time, I would probably say it's not so great. But honestly, I cannot really compare it also to anything else because I have never had a job that didn't have an ending date in the working contract. I always was employed on fixed-term contracts. In the world of science, jobs usually last only as long as the money for a project lasts. Maybe 1 year, 2 years, or 3. And when the project is over, so is the job. My salary comes from outside groups who pay for the research, third-party funding, and not from the university itself at the moment. And that's why my contract always depends on how long the period of the project runs. Lots of people talk in the news about these kind of jobs and how tough they can be. And yes, it is tough. Because especially as you get older, it gets harder to climb up the ladder in science. And if you don't move, well, you usually have to leave at some point. Sometimes I think about what it might be like to have a permanent job, a job without a set end date in the contract. But yeah, well, I just think about it because, like I said, I have no idea what it feels like. Some of my friends and colleagues that left science got those jobs. And it sounds a bit safer because you do not worry so much about the next paycheck. But it doesn't mean that those jobs are forever either, right? People could lose them. And as far as I see it, they always need to change because from what I heard, they also have to move in the companies that they are employed. Nevertheless, the biggest difference seems to be that with a permanent job, you can more easily get big things like a loan from a bank, for example, to buy a house. I remember one colleague who left science, well, not because he didn't like the work in the institute that we were colleagues, but simply because he wanted to build a house for his family. And the bank would not lend him money unless he had a permanent contract. So that was the reason why he moved into a company job. In my own case, I had jobs that lasted only 6 months or a year, and right now I'm very lucky because my project is funded for 4 years. But soon the last year of that contract will start, and now there are only 16 months left, so we're preparing already for what comes next. And yeah, how does that feel? Honestly, I can't answer this with a simple sentence because some days I feel scared. Some days I feel free. Some days I panic. And some days, again, I'm just fine. It changes all the time. I think many scientists feel this way. And that's why we need to talk more about it openly. And others have started this long before me talking about this today. There is an advantage. Short-term contracts can give chances to see the world, travel, meet people. It encourages us to keep moving. And I announced this before that I want to talk about why academia needs to be moving, changing always. It's not a static system. So yeah, traveling, seeing the world, meeting people, I have done that. I was lucky having the chance to experience everything I could experience. But then as you get older, wishes also change and you want to stay in one place, have balance, feel a little bit more truly connected, belong somewhere. And maybe you also want to connect back to your family. Parents get older. I want to take care of them when they grow old. Some people have kids. So yeah, final words here. Having a contract that ends is like living with a countdown clock permanently. And it is a bit like politics when you succeeded and you won the election, you already think about after the celebration, day one in the job, you think about the next election. So it's really a countdown clock. You can enjoy things, sure, but there is always the worry in the back of your head. what will come after that? When do I have to prepare? Will I get another job? Will I get an extension? Do I have to move? Which country am I living in? How does this work? If you're two partners in academia, then it's even more messed up. And yeah, there is fear connected to this feeling of insecurity, and fear never feels nice. So that said, I would love to, in the comments, hear about your own experiences, the feelings that are connected with being on a fixed term contract. And I would love to hear all of the different aspects of this system. The flexibility, which can be positive, but also the flexibility, the ending of a contract, which can be very hard on some people. And it also depends, like I said, how old you are and in which phase of the career and in life you are. So I would really like if you shared your opinions and your experiences, and if we started a conversation.